Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ramadan Mubarak. I mean, I know that we're all suffering from smelly breath and whatnot, but that's not an excuse for us not to give da'wah to non-Muslims. We just tell them why we've got smelly breath. It's because we're Muslim, and they should have smelly breath as well. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, the reason for me making this video today is that something I wanted to highlight is basically the morality issue. Right? If you're not clear with what that is basically where does morality come from if it's not from the divine? Basically, either that means it's subjective morality, which means it comes from within yourself, subjective truths. For example, Hitler, his subjective morality was to kill all the Jews and black people, and obviously 100 million, I don't know, not 100 million, sorry, I'm just throwing random numbers out, over 500,000 people agreed with him. So in that society they thought that was right. Now do you see the problem here? The problem is society dictates what is right. Now what about in Zimbabwe? The genocide apparently is okay over there for some people to do. Now in Syria, that guy, him in power, that we're not going to mention, but we all know who he is, it's alright for him to drop nerve bombs and nerve gas on people, on his own people, because him and his group of people think that's morally okay to do. Now, what we need to establish here is that morality can only come from Allah Azza wa Jal, or the Creator. It comes from out with. Now, if we want to look at this, and we look at this from their point of view, the atheist point of view, now let's look at this man Sam Harris. He says, he tries to redefine morality into science, and he basically says that peaks and troughs, that peaks are your high point and troughs are your low point, obviously. Now, peaks at your high point is human flourishing, whatever makes humans happy, and troughs is whatever makes humans sad and makes them feel bad, etc, etc, etc. Now, it's all fine and dandy when you're living in a society full of nice, well-mannered people, but let's take a few examples here. I started with the Hitler one. Now let's look at something else. The drug baron who's sending out heroin to lots of his drug dealers and drug runners, etc. And there's the mother who's ODing while the child's crying next to her, and the drug baron is getting rich off this poor woman's money. Is that right? Oh no, according to the drug baron, he's correct. And the people that are living off him, i.e. his mother that he's supporting, who she's happy living in her mansions and whatever, right? You follow this example. Now another example is a very extreme example, but it can happen. It probably does happen, where if in a room there is a child whose flourishing is to be happy and not to be abused, etc., and there's this man his flourishing is in raping that child or abusing that child. Now, who's to scientifically you've got a problem here, a severe problem. We obviously know that the child shouldn't be raped, but this man is going to make him happy. So, like his partner, like Sam Harris, his partner in crime, Lawrence Krauss says that that's why he couldn't answer the incest question. Now, Sam Harris in his own book says that his theory and his writings are all fine and dandy until it comes to the fact that if rapists, thieves, criminals, etc., they all become happy, same as whatever makes normal people happy, i.e. eating a pickle sandwich or whatever makes them happy. And if a drug dealer gets off in selling drugs and a thief gets off in stealing stuff, if that makes them happy, then there's a big flaw. He says that himself. I'm just paraphrasing, of course, but if you read his book, and you don't need to read his book, because who writes a book refuting themselves in the same book? And the thing is, people go out and buy this book and they're like, whoa, oh, very well written, but they totally missed this part where it's a whole paragraph. Can't remember the page number and whatnot, but it's just to show you the stupidity, how people accept the stupidity of these people. Now, so we need to take a stand up and say, no, it doesn't matter what you say. If you apply morality comes from within, then you can't say what Hitler done was wrong, because scientifically, if you want to say it, that he was correct, because it made him happy to do these things. So we need to watch what we're saying here. So obviously, please don't go about making videos saying that I support Hitler, what he'd done, and I support drug dealers and rapists and whatnot. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, if we use this logic, what atheists use, right, and put it onto these situations what do happen, they're not extreme situations. People say, they've said to me, oh, you know what, this is a very extreme, but it's not an extreme situation. Yes, it is an extreme situation, but it's reality. It happened. Hitler happened, Zimbabwe happened, it's happening now. Rwanda, that's happening. Let's look at Burma, that's happening. Chechnya, that's happening. These places are happening. So we can't say that you can't apply it to these when you can apply it to these, and people who are doing it, they are applying it whether you like it or not. So this little world that we live in is of morality comes from within and whatnot is pure and utter rubbish. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. This is what we need to go back to. We need to go back to the basics and look at the fundamental reason: is life just a game, or what is your purpose in life? So you need to ask yourself this. So Jazakallahu khairan for listening to this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and hope you have many great smelly breath days left. Yeah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.